Welcome to another Daily 10. This is one of my favourite 10-minute mobility flows because all you need is a little bit of wall space. So let's get straight into it. You can do this absolutely anywhere. Like I said, you just need a wall. So we're going to start together, guys, with our feet up against the wall like so. Try and get the bum as close to the wall as you can. So we're starting here by stretching our hamstrings. So we're going to focus on pulling our toes towards us, drawing our hips down towards the floor, and pressing our knees into the wall. And you're going to feel a deep, deep stretch on the backs of your hamstrings and maybe some calves as well. So personally, I love to do this 10-minute stretch after I train. It's super relaxing because you're lying down on the floor for most of it. So it's really good just to relax the body, relax the mind, and bring your energy from that sympathetic nervous system back to the parasympathetic nervous system. Help you relax and then get on with the next part of your day. Likewise, in the evening at home, it's a great time to just unwind. You can have your phone, you can have an iPad, or you could just be chatting to family. You can spend as long as you want to in these positions, but I'll just flow through it in about 10 minutes today. So that's position 1. Position 2, we're then going to take the feet into a straddle, taking the legs out as wide as we can. And the hands are just going to come on the insides of the legs and just provide a little bit of weight to persuade those hips to open up a little bit more. So we're now stretching the adductors as well as the hamstrings. Make sure you're still drawing the toes towards you, hips towards the floor, knees into the wall. And you're just going to simply chill out in this position, guys. As with all stretching, try and connect to the breath. So as you inhale, it's kind of where you relax a little bit from the stretch. When you exhale, that's where you can deepen into the stretch. This is a really good time to notice your breathing. Notice if it's coming into the stomach or into the chest. So ideally we want to breathe deep, low and slow into the diaphragm. And breathe through our nose. Okay, next up we're going to move back a little bit from the wall, so that when we put our knee at 90 degrees like so, our hip is also at 90 degrees. So this is our figure 4 stretch. The leg is going to come over like so. Try not to let the hips rise. So you've got to draw the hips down. The heel is over. Try not to have it on the foot, because now we're putting pressure on the ankle. Try to have it on the lower part of your leg, okay? Hand comes onto the foot, hand comes onto the knee. We're going to push the knee towards the wall. Applying a little bit of pressure into the wall as well, just to add a little bit of tension. You're going to feel this stretch on your glutes, okay? So on the hip area, on the bent leg. So when we coach stretching, and we say, you should feel this stretch here, we often get people saying, no, I feel it here, here, or here. And what I try to teach people is that, yes, you will feel the stretch here, here, and here, but that's not where we're focusing on. There's a purpose of each stretch to find a certain position. And the position we're trying to focus on here, if I'm passive, is trying to take this tight hip to an open hip. Okay, so I'm using a little bit of pressure, but I'm also allowing this hip to open up. So that's where my focus is. Yes, I can also feel the stretch on my hamstring, a little bit on the top of the hip, the focus is here on the glute, so that's where my mind stays. Okay, let's swap sides. So you'll notice when you change from one side to another in a stretch, it can feel very, very tight compared to where you just were. Don't rush getting it as mobile as the other side was straight away. Because if you rush that, you kind of miss out on all those little progressions in that journey. So take your time. Every time you exhale, just deepen that stretch a little bit more. When you inhale, you can relax back a little bit. Exhale, push deeper. So every exhale, you should just be able to go a little bit further, pushing the knee towards the wall, making sure you're not compensating by the hips sliding, okay? So the torso stays straight. It's only the leg that's moving. When you're stretching, if you notice one side is tighter than the other, feel free to spend a little bit longer on that side if you want to, or just be aware of it. Do an extra round on that side. We're not looking for the body to become perfectly symmetrical. That's unrealistic, but it's good to kind of know where your tightnesses lie. Okay, let's come back a little bit closer to the wall. A couple of inches away. Feet in a squat stance. On the wall, as if the wall was the floor. Hands coming inside to the knees. Let's get a bit closer there. And we're just going to open up the bottom of that squat, okay? So drawing the hips towards the floor, using your elbows as like a little bit of a vice to open up those hips, pulling the knees down towards the floor. I forgot to bring my phone to see how long it's been, so I'm kind of guessing on this one. So if it goes over 10 minutes, I apologise. Let's see how we get on. I reckon that's been about 7 so far. So let's get into the final stretch, in case it has been a little bit longer than I anticipate. So, everyone's favourite, the couch stretch. One of the most effective stretches, one of the most painful. So, let's just get into it. Right knee into the corner of the wall, the shin and the foot is up completely straight, okay? Left knee comes forwards, and this is progression 1. We inhale, bum towards the wall, exhale, push the hip towards the floor, squeezing the glute. Feel the stretch come through the quad and through the hip. If you require a little bit more of a stretch, your left foot is going to come up on the outside of your left hand into this, say, lunge position. Inhale, bum towards the wall. Exhale, hips towards the floor. Keep this one nice and dynamic. If you do want to hold it for longer, you can stay in a bit more of a passive stretch. If you do want a bit more of a stretch, then your hips come against the wall, arms come up, and then lean away. But most people are going to be down in this position here, okay? the stretch with the breathing. So it's inhale, bum towards the wall. Exhale, deepening into that stretch. So guys, I'm guessing that's 10 minutes. Thank you for doing that stretching with me, and I'll see you on the next one.